Okay, we learned that a class is a blueprint or a plan, and that we can create objects from that blueprint. Let's see how we do this in Python. First, we need to create a class, which will serve as the blueprint. We do that using the class keyword, followed by the name of the class. In this example, let's create a class called student. Class student. Pass. At the moment, this class does not contain any information. Later, we will describe the structure of a student and specify what properties a student should have. For now, we simply use the pass keyword as a placeholder. Now that we have created the blueprint, we can create objects from it. Suppose we want to create a student called Alex. Alex equals student. Here, Alex is an object created from the student class. In other words, it is a concrete instance of the blueprint. We can create as many objects as we want from the same class. For example, Alex equals student, John equals student. Now we have two different student objects, both created from the same blueprint. At the moment, these objects do not contain any data because our class is still empty. To make the example more useful, we need to add some structure to the class. In other words, we need to improve the blueprint by describing what information a student should store. Let's do that next. Now that we understand that a class is a blueprint, let us start building a more useful blueprint for our students. At the moment, our class looks like this. Python class student, pass. This tells Python that we have a blueprint called student, but it does not yet describe what a student looks like. So the next question is, what information should every student object contain? Suppose that for our application, we decide that every student should have a name, an age, a GPA, and a major. These are the characteristics, or attributes, that we want every student object to possess. Now we face an interesting problem. Although every student has a name, age, GPA, and major, we do not know the actual values yet. For example, one student might be text name, Alex age, 20 GPA, 3.5 major, computer science. While another student might be text name, Mary age, 19 GPA, 3.8 major, mathematics. The blueprint should specify that these attributes exist, but it cannot specify their values because those values depend on the particular student object we create later. In other words, we need to leave the door open so that different objects can receive different values at the time they are created. To accomplish this, Python provides a special method called the constructor. A constructor is a method that is automatically called whenever a new object is created. In Python, the constructor is named _init_. Let us add it to our class. Class student. def_init_self, name, age, GPA, major. Let us examine this line carefully. First, we see the keyword def. The keyword def is used to define a function or method in Python. You have already seen this keyword when writing ordinary functions. For example, def add a, b. Return a plus b. The constructor is also a method, so we use the same def keyword. Next, notice the unusual name. _init_. The double underscores before and after the word init are part of the name. This is a special method recognized by Python. Whenever an object is created, Python automatically calls this method. For now, you can simply think of _init_ as the constructor. Next, look at the parameter list. Self, name, age, GPA, major. The parameters name, age, GPA, and major represent the information that must be supplied when a new student object is created. The parameter self is special. For now, think of self as a protocol or convention used by Python. Every object method begins with self as its first parameter. We will discuss the meaning of self in more detail shortly. For now, simply remember that every method that belongs to a class typically starts with self. At this stage, our blueprint is saying, whenever a student object is created, the creator must provide a name, age, GPA, and major. Now we need to store those values inside the object. We do that as follows. Python class student. def_init_self, name, age, GPA, major, self. Name equals name, self. Age equals age, self. GPA equals GPA self. Major equals major. Each line stores one of the supplied values inside the newly created object. The left-hand side represents an attribute of the object. The right-hand side represents the value supplied during object creation. At this point, our blueprint is complete. It specifies that every student object will contain a name, an age, a GPA, and a major. In the next step, we will use this blueprint to create actual student objects and see how different students can be created from the same class while storing different values. Remember, the class tells us that every student object must have a name, an age, a GPA, and a major. The constructor allows us to provide those values when the object is created. Let's create our first student. Alex equals student Alex, 21, 3.6, maths. Let me type this slowly. First, we create a variable called Alex. On the right-hand side, we write student. This tells Python to create a new object from the student class. Now we supply the information required by the constructor. The first value is Alex, which will become the student's name. The second value is 21, which will become the student's age. The third value is 3.6, which will become the student's GPA. The fourth value is maths, which will become the student's major. When this statement executes, Python creates a new student object and calls the constructor automatically. The constructor receives these four values and stores them inside the object. So we can imagine that Python creates something like this. Alex. Name equals Alex, age equals 21, GPA equals 3.6, major equals maths. Now let's create a second student. Maria equals student Maria, 19, 3.9, CS. Again, Python creates a completely new object. The constructor receives Maria 19, 3.9 CS and stores them inside the new object. So now we have Maria. Name equals Maria, age equals 19, GPA equals 3.9, major equals CS. Notice something important. Both objects were created from the same blueprint. However, they contain different values. The blueprint is the same. The data stored inside each object is different. At this point, we have two separate student objects in memory. Now let's access some of their properties. First, let's print Alex's name. Print Alex. Name. The dot notation means go to the object called Alex and retrieve its name attribute. The output is Alex. Now let's print Maria's name. Print Maria. Name. Again, we go to the object called Maria and retrieve its name attribute. The output is Maria. Now let's display both students together. Printf, Alex. Name, Alex. Major, Maria. Name, Maria. Major. Let us read this carefully. First, Python retrieves Alex. Name, which is Alex. Then it retrieves Alex. Major, which is maths. So the first part becomes Alex maths. Next, Python retrieves Maria. Name, which is Maria. and Maria, major, which is CS. So the second part becomes Maria CS. The final output is Alex Maths, Maria CS. This confirms that the two objects contain different information. Even though both objects were created from the same class, each object stores its own independent set of attribute values. This is one of the key ideas of object-oriented programming. A class provides the blueprint. An object is a concrete instance created from that blueprint. The constructor receives values during object creation. Those values are stored inside the object as attributes. In our example, we created two separate student objects, Alex and Maria. Each object contains its own name, age, GPA, and major, exactly as specified when the object was created. Let's summarize what we learned in this lesson. We started by learning that a class is a blueprint. A blueprint describes what an object should look like, but it is not an object itself. We then created a student class to represent students in our program. Next, we identified the attributes that every student should have. Name, age, GPA, major. Since different students have different values for these attributes, we could not place specific values directly into the blueprint. Instead, we used a constructor. In Python, the constructor is the special method called _init_. The constructor is automatically called whenever a new object is created. We then defined our constructor so that it receives a name, age, GPA, and major, and stores those values inside the object. After that, we created two objects. Python Alex equals student Alex, 21, 3.6, Maths Maria equals student Maria, 19, 3.9, CS. Although both objects were created from the same student class, they contain different data. The Alex object stores information about Alex. The Maria object stores information about Maria. We then used dot notation to access the attributes stored inside the objects. For example, Python print Alex. Name print Maria. Name allowed us to retrieve and display information stored inside those objects. The important idea is that the class provides the structure, while each object stores its own values. We can create many objects from the same class, and each object can contain different data. So remember, a class is a blueprint. An object is a concrete instance created from that blueprint. The constructor initializes the object when it is created. And the attributes store the information that belongs to that particular object. In our example, we created two student objects, Alex and Maria, and each object maintained its own independent set of attribute values. In the next lesson, we will build on this foundation by adding methods to our class so that objects can not only store data, but also perform actions. Created.